How does it feel to be the secretary to the CEO of a big company? It must be fun and a source of pride. Who wouldn't be happy to have a good career and a high income? But behind it all there are great responsibilities, and there are bosses who sometimes have annoying traits. Hi, my name is Choi Yn. This year I'm 25 years old. At this relatively young age I already have a good career. People only see how good my life is, but they never see how depressed I am in my current position. Being a secretary is not an easy thing. The huge responsibility makes me really depressed. The office work that came and went made me rarely take a break, sometimes thinking about quitting. It felt like I really couldn't afford it, but those thoughts soon vanished when I remembered my mother and sister in the village. Since my father had passed away, I was the breadwinner of the family. That's why I decided to keep working even though I feel like going crazy. I won't stop providing for my mother and sister. Kim Taehyung, a handsome man who is now 30 years old, is the CEO of Tan Company. This year is my third year working as his secretary. This man really caught my attention at the beginning of our meeting. I was so excited when I first started working as his secretary. Always being around this handsome man makes me happy. But that was only at the beginning of the job. A few months later, my admiration for him turned into resentment. He always gave me so much work. I knew it was my duty as his secretary, but I thought he was overdoing it. I didn't even have time to have lunch with the other employees. 3 years of working at Tan Company didn't make me many friends. I didn't even have any friends in the office, and it was all because of that annoying boss. That man always kept me in his room during break times, so I had no time to mingle with the other employees. I was alone with that annoying boss all the time, so there were rumors that I was in a relationship with Mr. Taehyung. And there were also rumors that I was an arrogant person. Arrogant because I never wanted to join the other employees even if it was just to eat lunch together. I really wanted to join them, but that crazy boss always kept me in his room and told me to do whatever I could do. I wanted to protest so badly, but I didn't have enough courage. Just like the previous days, that annoying boss again kept me in his room. Taehyung, what is my next schedule? Yn, nothing sir, there are just some documents you need to sign. Taehyung, eat first, gives her the food she ordered earlier. After work hours are over, I'll take you home to change. Tonight you have to stay at my apartment. We'll go over the meeting materials tonight. Yn, but Mr. Taehyung, my sister is also staying over tonight, so you don't have to worry about me acting indecently with you. Besides, I'm not interested in small-breasted women like you. Yn suddenly crossed her arms in front of her chest. What a pervert, she grumbled to herself. Yn, crazy boss. You should give me some time off so I can focus on tomorrow's meeting. And hey, you think I'm a workaholic like you? Yn grumbled inwardly. Taehyung, stop inwardly swearing. Hurry up and finish your food. Yn, how does he know I'm swearing? She said silently. Yn, yes, sir, laughs awkwardly. Yn reopened the conversation after a long silence. Sir, can I this weekend? Yn stopped her speech when she got a sharp look from her boss. Taehyung sighed heavily. All right, do whatever you want this weekend. Go wherever you want, but... Yn, but what, sir? Taehyung. But going with me, of course, is not just a weekend getaway. We'll also talk about the new project. YN. What? What the heck? Annoyed. Weekends are supposed to be about having fun, or lazing around at home. How annoying. Inwardly. YN. All right, mister. She can only surrender. As Taehyung had said, this weekend they were going to an amusement park. Even though they were going to have fun, they would still discuss work, so YN took the initiative to invite other employee friends. YN hopes that inviting other employees will make this weekend more fun. After all, they will also discuss work, so it's better if they invite other employees to exchange opinions. But YN did not expect that her initiative to invite other employees would invite the boss's anger. YN was very confused why Taehyung was so angry just because she invited other employees. YN felt bad for the other employees when Taehyung told them to disperse and return to their respective homes. After returning home, YN received many emails from Taehyung. The emails were none other than work that YN had to complete as soon as possible. And Taehyung asked for the work to be completed by tomorrow. That guy is really crazy. YN didn't sleep all night because of the work Taehyung gave her. Even though tomorrow there is an important meeting, but again YN does nothing. 5 days in a row Taehyung really tortured YN with a pile of work that had to be completed according to the deadline Taehyung gave. After 5 days of working like a robot, YN became insomniac. She even took high doses of sleeping pills just so she could sleep. Today YN came to the office early, because today there is a meeting around 8 a.m. YN came with a very pale face. The employees felt sorry for YN. They know very well that in the last few days YN has had a lot of work that has made YN not have much time to rest. In's pale face is because she didn't sleep last night. She was studying the meeting material that she will present today. Because she was too focused on her meeting material that YN forgot to eat. Today YN wanted to be excused because her head felt so heavy and her stomach also felt nauseous, but YN could not leave her responsibilities. So inevitably YN still has to attend today. The meeting began. With all her might YN endured the pain in her head and endured the nausea that continued to attack. The meeting went smoothly. YN was able to present the material well. Half an hour later the meeting was over. The investors accepted the cooperation with Tan Company. Now the room was quiet. There were only Taehyung and YN there. Taehyung, are you okay? Worried. YN just nodded. Taehyung, no, you don't look okay. Let's go to the hospital now. YN was about to protest but suddenly felt like her head was hit by a boulder, causing her to lose consciousness. Taehyung, who saw YN fainted, was of course very panicked. He rushed to carry YN and brought YN to the hospital. Arriving at the hospital, YN was immediately treated by the doctor. A few minutes later the doctor came out of the examination room. Taehyung, how is she? She's okay, right? He asked with a worried look on his face. Doctor, come with me to the room. Taehyung, how is my girlfriend? Doctor, her condition is quite alarming. I would like to ask you first, sir. Since when has your girlfriend been taking sleeping pills? Taehyung frowned. Sleeping pills. Doctor. Yes, sleeping pills. Ms. YN is taking a high dose of sleeping pills, sir. It's very dangerous for health. If taken for a long time, it can be fatal. Doctor. I suggest that you keep a close eye on Miss In's condition and make sure she no longer takes sleeping pills. I will prescribe natural herbal medicines that can treat insomnia. Taehyung. Did she take those drugs because she had trouble sleeping due to the work I gave her? Grabbing his own hair, Kim Taehyung. You've really gone too far this time.
Taehyung walked with unsteady steps. He cursed his stupidity. For a moment he stopped in front of In's ward door. He gazed sadly at the woman who was lying weakly in there. The woman who accompanied him for the past 3 years, the woman who won his heart and managed to occupy the highest position in his heart after his mother. Now the woman was lying weak and all because of his own actions. Taehyung did various ways to keep YN by his side, but without Taehyung realizing the way he used it actually made YN hurt. Taehyung slowly entered In's hospital room. Taehyung approached and sat beside the bed. He grabbed the tiny hand and kissed it repeatedly. Taehyung, I'm sorry. I really apologize. Taehyung, I was really stupid. I gave you a lot of work just so you wouldn't have time to hang out with people out there, especially with a guy. Taehyung, I'm too much of a coward to admit that I don't like it when you make friends with employees in the office, especially male employees. I did all sorts of things to keep you from hanging out with them. One of them is by giving you a lot of work. Taehyung, I was afraid that you'd develop feelings for one of them. I don't want you to leave me. Taehyung, YN, stupid. Taehyung was surprised to hear In's voice, so he immediately raised his head. Taehyung, you're awake. Do you feel any pain? Wait a moment, I'll call a doctor. YN, no need, I'm fine. Taehyung looked at YN sadly. I'm sorry. YN, smiling, I just found out that there are people in this world who are as stupid as you, sir. YN, Suksun is completely crazy. How could you hire me like a robot just for that reason? Yes, YN heard all of Taehyung's confession. YN couldn't deny that she felt very happy to hear Taehyung's confession that indirectly revealed his feelings of love, but still, Taehyung's actions were very unjustified. Taehyung, YN, yes, I heard everything you said. YN, sir, do you realize that what you did was very wrong? You could have cost me my life. Taehyung, I'm sorry, you can report me to the police. I won't defend myself. YN was silent for a moment and then spoke up again. I won't report you, but I have a request. YN, I want you not to go overboard in giving me work. I'm a human, not a robot. Even robots have to have time to rest, otherwise they won't last long. Taehyung, okay, YN, I also request that you do not limit me in terms of friendship. I really want to be close to other employees and I also want to feel what it's like to date. Taehyung was silent as he looked at YN. Actually, he really wanted to forbid YN, because he didn't want to see YN interacting with other employees, especially male employees, but seeing In's current condition made Taehyung unable to refuse In's request. Taehyung, okay, Taehyung can only surrender. YN, can I date too? Taehyung is silent. YN, sir. Do whatever you want, Taehyung said without looking at YN. YN, really? Taehyung just nodded. YN, then, will you date me? Taehyung rounded his eyes at In's words. What did you say? YN, smiling. For the past 3 years, you've been the only man I've been around. You have always occupied my time and attention to the point that I have no time to look at other men. What should I do then? YN, I think it will take a long time to approach other men, so you should take responsibility. Because of you, I have been unable to get to know other men for the past 3 years. Taehyung, what kind of responsibility do you want? Nervous. YN held back her smile when she saw the man in front of her misbehaving. YN, I don't love you yet, but I already like you. By the way, do I have to get sick first for you to admit your feelings? Sir, feelings should be expressed, not harbored. Taehyung, then what about you? You said you like me, so why don't you tell me if you like me? YN was suddenly upset at Taehyung's words. Sir, I am a woman. I have a lot of prestige. Taehyung smiled happily. You really like me? YN just nodded with a blushing face. Taehyung couldn't hide his happiness. He hugged YN unconsciously. I like you more, Choi YN. Please accept me as your lover. I promise to make you happy. YN looked silent for a moment. Are you okay with my family background? Taehyung, doesn't my insanity make you believe that I want you? I wouldn't have gotten this far if I had bothered with social status and all that. YN, what is your goal in wanting to be in a relationship with me? Taehyung, what else if not because I love you, and I don't just want to date. I want us to get married. YN can see Taehyung's sincerity. YN, let's see if you can make me comfortable with this relationship, so that I decide to marry you. Taehyung, you'll still marry me. Kisses In's forehead. YN, it's nothing yet that he dared to kiss me, she thought to herself. Taehyung caressed In's cheek gently. I promise, I won't restrain you anymore. And this love won't make you depressed. I'll make amends by showering you with love and affection. YN just smiled and nodded. A few days later, YN was allowed to go home. Taehyung gave YN a week's leave. Over the past week, Taehyung has been very attentive to YN. The man's attitude has changed to be very kind. As the days passed, In's condition improved and she was able to return to work. In accordance with In's request, Taehyung now does not restrain YN and does not limit In's friendship. But of course before that, Taehyung had first told his employees that YN was his girlfriend. Taehyung also warned male employees not to get too close to his girlfriend. Then what about YN? Of course YN was very happy because Taehyung really kept his promise. YN can now mingle with other employees. But there is one thing that makes YN upset, which is that Taehyung doesn't give her a job other than just organizing Taehyung's schedule. Taehyung, honey, I know you'll always be pretty in any face, but I don't like seeing that pouty face of yours. You're more beautiful when you smile. YN, give me a job. I don't want to eat a blind paycheck. Taehyung looked confused at his girlfriend's words. You're working right now, baby. YN, what job? I'm just sitting here and doing nothing. Annoyed. Taehyung laughed. He patted his thigh signaling YN to sit on his lap. Sit here, my dear. YN stood up from her seat and walked towards Taehyung. Taehyung guided YN to sit on his lap and hugged In's waist. Taehyung, your job now is just to organize my schedule, keep me company and serve me. YN, what kind of work is that? Taehyung, a wife's job. YN, but I'm not your wife. Taehyung, you'll be my wife later, baby. Laughs. Taehyung, let's meet your parents this week. YN, you want to meet my mom? But the access to my village is only by car and takes a day. Taehyung, I'll go anyway. I have to ask your mom for permission in person to marry you. YN, what? Taehyung, I don't want to waste time. I want to marry you as soon as possible. I want to do a lot of things with you and I also want to be a father as soon as possible. YN smiled and kissed Taehyung's forehead. I'm glad to hear, but Tae, I'm the backbone of the family. If we get married and I don't work anymore, what about the survival of my mom and sister? Taehyung, don't you think of me? If we get married, of course your responsibilities become mine. Don't worry, dear, I will fulfill all the needs of your family. You can also invite them to live with us later. Thank you, dear. Taehyung, no need to thank me, baby. I love you. YN, I love you too. Sorry for making you suffer just because of my selfishness, who always wanted to see you by my side. And thank you for accepting me after what I've done. I love you, Choi YN.